Hi, my name is Daniel Kwak.
And my name is Sam Kwak, and we are entrepreneurs, investors, and the authors of the book Fire Your Boss. And in this video, we want to share two sides of how our society is getting educated. Now, when we often say the word education, what do you immediately think of? Colleges, right? It's about getting that degree so we can find a great job with a great company. But what if we said there are in fact two very different types of education that has been around for more than 700 years that had stayed consistently over the centuries? Those are the poorest people's education and the wealthy people's education. Now let's quickly define the words poor and the rich before we move on. When we say poor people, I'm talking about the employee mindset of how people think about creating wealth, whether that's in money, time, relationships, or knowledge. So it's not necessarily about money, but it's more about to do with the mindset. When it comes to the wealthy mindset, these are people who focus on creating richness in not only money, but also in time, relationships, and in knowledge.
So let us give you a quick historical background as to how education worked 700 years ago. In the early 1300 European society, there were two very different classes of people, the rich and the poor. The question is, do we still classify people today in the same terms? Obviously, yes. The rich people were educated in ways that they learned how to read, write, and would oftentimes work closely to the king or the lords of the land. Now, on the flip side, very few poor people got to learn how to read or write. Most poor people learned how to farm, tend to farm animals, and learned military fighting to protect the king's land. The bottom line is that the poor people got educated in those specific skills to serve the king. In exchange for protection and a home, the poor people would often work to provide the king or the lord with food, supplies, labor for the royalty's properties.
Now let's skip over to the 1500s. In my opinion, the world's greatest invention was discovered in the interim, the printing press. When the printing press was invented, the mass had access to literatures and books. Now the poor people got education in learning how to read and write now. But what did the rich people started doing? The idea of early modern universities became a popular form of education for the rich. The rich people sent their children to learn how to not only read and write, but also to apply philosophy, reasoning, logic, and rhetoric as part of the education process. The rich also started forming a large trade organization where they controlled ships and merchants to produce more revenue. Unfortunately, like the 1300s, the poor were getting educated only to work for the rich. Without reading or writing, how else is the common employee to follow the written instructions or formal decrees by the rich? How come nothing has changed since 1300s? Surely we have to progress further than that, right? I'm sure jumping over to the 24th centuries have solved these issues.
So, let's finally jump over to the 21st century model of education. In today's world, everybody has the access to a college education and public school systems. Perhaps we stopped educating our population to work for the rich people, right? Well, let's take a quick look at our current education model. The poor people now can have access to universities without much limitations today. Our US government offers student loans to pay for college education, but what are the universities actually teaching our students? Have you ever wondered why our universities never teach anything about starting your own business, learning how to manage your taxes, how to open a bank account, and learn how to invest?
Now what if we told you nothing has ever changed since 1300s? Guess who provides funding and support to the college curriculum boards? The rich people. These rich people control large investments and corporations that tell the curriculum boards what to teach in the universities across the country to stay accredited. What's even worse, the rich people who control the banks are also the one who lends money to these students so they can get in debt and that they would have to get a job to work for the same companies that these rich people own. And guess what? Our government is okay with that because it keeps the society paying taxes and keeping just smart enough so that they know how to work the machines at their job. Our universities and our schooling is designed so that the 95% of the population can go work for a job and get stuck in the traffic for 2 hours every single day.
Now, we all know this sounds like a conspiracy theory, and maybe it challenges your belief. At one time, we couldn't believe this to be true either. We rejected it utterly, and when we heard about this, the more we thought about it, it was true. So, what are the rich people doing as far as their education? Could there be any more reasons like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, James Cameron, and many more all dropped out of college to pursue something even greater? So, here are what the rich people are doing today. They are getting educated on how to start their own businesses and control large assets. They are getting specified financial training to not only learn how to do the Pythagorean theorem, but to learn how to realize their ideas into motions.
Now here's the good news. Our country, the United States, allows anybody to choose either the rich people's education or the poor people's education. Unlike the 1300s and the 1500s, where powerful relationships are required to gain access to education, today anybody in the United States can choose to learn how to control assets and gain financial literacy so that you too can be wealthy.
Now, I want to personally invite you to an education that will not only help you start your own business, but is also going to teach you how to control assets such as a rental property. If you had 10 rental properties that paid you $1,000 a month each, wouldn't that be a better alternative than to working for a job or for a company or for someone else? Now, keep in mind, you don't have to clock in or clock out with owning rental properties. We would like to invite you now on our real estate investment education where you can learn how to buy, sell, find rental properties without your own money or own credit. Not only that, we're going to teach you how to pay 65% less taxes for the rest of your life using key tax laws. And we're going to teach you how to pay off your mortgage within 5 to 7 years. And listen, if this all sounds too good to be true, we want you to consider the possibility that someone you know is already doing this. And believe me, we found out about this education, coaching, while we were broken in college. Today, we learned how to raise over $1 million of starting capital from just learning how to talk to the right people with the money. We're going to teach you how to do just that. And even if I'm half right about all this, you're going to be very, very impressed.
So if you're interested in getting coaching from us and finding more information about our real estate investment education, get back to the person who sent you this video and they will take care of you in making sure that you get the right information and we can get you started in our candidacy process. Thanks for watching.